You're watching Sunrise on WCBI.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Time now 6 o'clock. The Florida school massacre is causing an Alabama lawmaker to propose a bill to arm school teachers. Republican State Representative Will Ainsworth of Gunnersville, Alabama, introduced this bill on Tuesday. The bill would give teachers the ability to have a gun and allow them to use the firearm in a life-threatening situation. Well, the Lamar County Sheriff says arming teachers wouldn't be a bad idea, but the proper steps would need to be taken to make it a safe idea.
They'd have to have some really specialized training because you can go out and shoot at a paper target, but the paper target's not shooting back. I think they would need active shooter training. I think they would need, like I said, firearms retention. On par with law enforcement, I think they would have to have some really good training.
Teachers and administrators who carry firearms would go through 40 hours of training through the Alabama Peace Officers Standards Commission, which is paid for by the state.
A report about a suspicious child at Caledonia High School leads Lowndes County deputies to another investigation about a gun. Investigators say they were allowed to search the child's room with parental permission and found a handgun, an old bullet-resistant vest, and a small amount of ammunition. The juvenile was taken to youth court. Deputies later learned the gun should have been logged into evidence at the sheriff's department about 10 years ago, but was not logged as it should have been. In a press release, the sheriff's department says the gun was at one time in possession of a former deputy. Multiple sources tell WCBI that former deputy is Eli Perrigan. Perrigan resigned from the agency just a day before being arrested for a misdemeanor domestic violence charge earlier this month. The child is no longer in school. An investigation regarding the gun will be presented to the next Lowndes County grand jury.
In Choctaw County, the sheriff's department there responding after rumors spread that a student had a gun on the high school campus on Friday. Well, in a statement released yesterday, Chief Deputy Lee Upchurch says their investigation found a new student at the school was being bullied by others who spread false allegations. According to the statement, deputies got a call from a parent saying a student brought weapons on campus in a duffel bag. Now, when deputies responded, they searched the bag and only found clothing. The investigation continued Tuesday when detectives returned to the campus to interview the accused student and other students that were suspected of bullying him. Upchurch adds the events caused, quote, panic and alarm at the school, saying some parents even arrived on campus with firearms. The investigation also found there were adults involved in spreading rumors on social media. The deputies went on to say that they're disappointed with the community's lack of trust in the educational department and law enforcement.
A man wanted in a child abuse investigation is arrested. 22-year-old Anthony Dion Gilmore is charged with child abuse. Jail records show he was taken into custody at the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department on Tuesday. Last week, investigators sent out a press release asking for the public's help to find Gilmore. His bond has been set at $25,000.
A Starkville man accused of committing a sex crime now sits behind bars. On Tuesday, the Oktibbeha County Sheriff's Department arrested 36-year-old George Fair. He was arraigned in court yesterday and is being charged with one count of sexual battery. Fair's bond is set at $100,000.
And a phone scam is circling around Stark Vegas, and police there want to warn you about it. Police say the calls come from a 662 number shown here on your screen. The scam asks you to donate money to a police foundation. If you're contacted through this scam or have any information, call Starkville PD or Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers.
A request to hold a pride parade in downtown Starkville is voted down. Some community members say it's a slap in the face, while others say it's a matter of faith. The Starkville Board of Aldermen voted 4-3 Tuesday night to refuse a parade permit to Starkville Pride, an organization that supports LGBTQ rights. 16 people spoke in favor of the event and only 2 against. Mayor Lynn Spruill says the vote does not reflect the spirit of Starkville. Now, as mayor, Spruill cannot vote unless there is a tie.
Well, it turns out Vice Mayor Roy A. Perkins, along with Alderman Henry Vaughn, David Little, and Ben Carver, cast the no votes. Now, none of them wish to talk about their decision.
Yeah, but they may not be the only ones who aren't talking. Support for Starkville Pride grew on Main Street and online, as well as critics. Our Jory Talley has more.
Bailey McDaniel is the director for Starkville Pride. It's her last year at Mississippi State, and she wanted to organize the city's very first Pride Parade to celebrate Pride Month.
This is a Pride Parade for people to be proud of the inclusion and diversity that is sustaining in Mississippi, even though our legislation is not saying that. So it's a parade for people, and I need them to realize that. It's not just about the LGBTQ plus community. It's about being proud of who we are as a human race and how we need to progress that and do better.
Eileen Carr-Tab has grown up in Starkville and says she's watched people in Starkville work to eliminate discrimination. That's why she's sad about the vote.
As a 54-year-old black woman that I remember, you know, when this city was not all inclusive and fair to people of color. And that's why I saw that going.
Resident Jack Burton says he feels conflicted.
Personally, it's been something that has kind of been taking a forefront in my mind, just the idea of politics versus like our faith and stuff like that. So I identify as a Christian, and I'm still trying to figure out like how that should inform my decisions in politics and stuff like that.
But resident Tommy Lane says it is a God thing.
Our faith comes first, in my opinion, and to have a person to vote in a way that acknowledges Christ and someone to stand on their biblical values is really uplifting to me.
At the end of the day, McDaniel says she's not trying to change anyone's mind, but instead wants to celebrate with everyone about being proud of who we are as a human race.
I'm not trying to tell anyone that they're allowed to think that A is right, B is right, C is wrong.
Now, McDaniel says she is considering legal action against the city. She also says she doesn't feel wronged by the entire Board of Aldermen, just the 4 who said no and didn't give it a chance or a reason.
Your first alert forecast with meteorologist Alex Puckett.
It's been a soggy start for parts of our area. This is the view from Tupelo and our Alpha Insurance Skycam. You see the wet roadways. They've been dealing with rain pretty much all night and all morning, and that's all associated with this cold front that's across parts of our area, sort of extending from Iuka to Tupelo back down towards Winona and points to the north and west. You see the temperature difference there. When you're in the Golden Triangle, we got temperatures sitting in the upper 60s. So bit of a cold front pushing through, not going to make its way all the way southeast through the area today, but we'll go back to the radar and you can see some showers and thunderstorms associated with that front pushing through parts of the area. Some heavier thunderstorms now pushing into Yellowbusha and northwestern Grenada counties, and we've got this leading edge of rain extending from just north of Hamilton, Alabama, back down to the south and west towards Winona. As we go through the day, this rain actually going to slowly lift back off to the north, so by this afternoon or certainly by this evening, more spots than not drying out with just a couple of scattered showers popping up here and there overnight. Most spots drying out overnight, though. So as kids head to the bus stop this morning, if you're north and west of that line I showed you, you're going to want the rain gear. But if you're in Starkville, Columbus, you may be okay as far as rain is concerned this morning. And another warm day in store for us, though. We'll be seeing a good bit of cloud cover. Temperatures today going to be climbing up into the upper 70s and lower 80s for most of the area this afternoon. But if you're in places like Oxford, Water Valley, Corinth, you may only climb into the upper 60s.
All righty. Well, time now to get the latest in our Mississippi Peanut Supply question of the day. It's a funny one. We want to know, how many selfies do you take a day? Because you could have self-itis, people. It's a real thing, apparently.
Yeah, we learned about that in our 5 o'clock show. That it's a real thing, and Scott Martin has it.
Oh, he's telling it, so we want you to tell it. Who do we have?
I like Deanna Batch's comment. This is pretty good. It said, I might get 1 or 2 in when I'm feeling my boss mode.
Ooh, oh, yeah. Boss.
When you're feeling a little fierce.
Hashtag like a boss.
Okay,
That's right.
I like
That's
that.
Right. Kitty Jackson says, 0, don't want to break my phone. You wouldn't break your phone taking a selfie.
Well, you could run out of space like
you could,
mine.
or I guess I could see, you get the loose grip and, oh, there it goes.
And I will say, like,
that's
I like
true.
to, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to
Scott,
say. I take a lot of
self-itis.
pictures. I take a lot of pictures.
Scott, have you
Let's
ever
put it
broken
that
your
way.
phone taking a selfie?
No.
Okay, well, at least
No.
there's
Maybe you don't have self-itis then. If you didn't break it, you're fine. Who knows? Leave a comment. We'll